In this new Ultimate Team series, I make the best team I believe possible, picking players from all eras of NBA history. It isn't just about how talented the teams are, but I'm also trying to build teams that would gel and execute well together. Today, we're looking at the Ultimate Kings team. Before I get started, here are the rules you need to know. To build each franchise's ultimate team, I will be picking a starting 5, a second unit representing each position, and then 3 additional rotation players at any position I choose. In total, there will be 13 roster spots. It's worth mentioning that I will not simply be building these teams based on how talented each player is, but I'll also be factoring in how well these players would do together as teammates. So without further ado, let's get into it. Starting at the point guard position is the triple-double machine, Oscar Robertson. He wasn't a very flashy point guard, and with his slow and methodical approach to the offense, some have since described him as the Tim Duncan of the point guard position. He did a little bit of everything for his Royals, as he was an all-star in all 10 of his years with the team. Over that 10-season stretch, he averaged just a rebound and a half short of a monstrous triple-double. Considering how he averaged 42 minutes per game over the course of his career, the Big O will have this position on lock for this all-time Kings squad. Starting at the shooting guard position is the 6'3" modern star DeAaron Fox. I know, he plays the point guard position, and he always has been. But the thing is, this all-time Kings squad has way too many amazing point guards on the roster. So for me to keep all of them in the starting lineup or the second unit, I had to move one of them out of position. And in my opinion, Fox is the one who most naturally fits the 2-guard spot. He's one of the fastest players in the league, and he's already an elite scorer. But as the 2, he'll have an even greater green light to look to get buckets for himself. His first All-Star appearance came in the 2022-2023 season, as he averaged 25 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds, on 51% shooting from the field. Starting at small forward is one of the greatest shooters of the 2000s, Peja Stojakovic. At his peak, this guy was absolutely dangerous from the perimeter, and is a player who would absolutely love to play in the modern era of inflated three-point shooting. He was an all-star with the Kings for 3 straight seasons, but his best individual year was the 03-04 season, where he averaged 24 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists, on 48% shooting from the field, 43% shooting from three-point distance, and a league-leading 92.7% from the free throw line. Simply put, when this guy got hot, he was basically automatic from any distance. And with facilitators like Oscar Robertson giving him opportunities, he'll be capitalizing on plenty of good looks. Starting at power forward is the 6'10" Sacramento legend, Chris Webber. For a while, this guy was genuinely in the conversation for the title of the best power forward in the entire league, which truly says a lot when you consider the fact that he was competing against the likes of Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and Dirk Nowitzki. The ball movement will be beautiful on this starting unit, as Webber was an underrated ball handler and an underrated passer in his own right. At his individual peak in 2001, he was among the league leaders in scoring and rebounding, while being 5th among power forwards in assists per game. Starting at center is the one they call Boogie, DeMarcus Cousins. His decline was so quick and drastic that people have already forgotten his dominance in his mid-20s. For 4 straight seasons, he was an NBA All-Star, and at his Sacramento best in 2016, he was putting up stunning averages, filling up the stat sheet in basically every way. Continuing with the theme of this roster so far is his underrated passing ability as a big man, as Boogie was frequently among the league leaders in assists per game at his position. Now on to the second unit. The backup point guard is the 6'1" Hall of Famer, Nate "Tiny" Archibald. Despite his undersized frame, this guy was an absolute weapon in the 1970s, who would consistently torch opposing teams in a variety of ways. For evidence of that, look no further than his 1972-73 season, where he led the NBA in points and assists in the same season. That year, he averaged 34 points, 11 assists, and 3 rebounds on 49% shooting. Again, this is the first guy coming off the bench, which should tell you the kind of nightmare that perimeter defenses will be dealing with whenever they have to face this Kings group. The backup shooting guard is arguably the most underappreciated player of the 1990s, Mitch Richmond. He was a 6-time All-Star, and all 6 of those seasons were in Sacramento. He was a fantastic all-around scorer who doesn't get the shine he deserves simply because his team didn't get any deep postseason runs, which had more to do with his lacking supporting cast rather than his individual abilities. At his best in 1997, he was averaging about 26 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists on 54% shooting and a deadly 43% from three-point range. The backup small forward is the controversial star, formerly known as Ron Artest. He spent only 2 seasons of his career in Sacramento, but he made a massive impact both offensively and defensively while leading his team to the playoffs in 2006. At his Sacramento best in 2008, he put up roughly 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 steals on 43% shooting and a solid 38% shooting from three-point range. The backup power forward is one of the 75 greatest players of all time, Jerry Lucas. This 6'8" legend was a perennial all-star in his time as a Cincinnati Royal, and although Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell stole all of the attention for their dominant rebounding, Lucas was an all-time great rebounder in his own right. He had many great seasons, but specifically in 1965, he averaged 21 points and 20 rebounds, while being 3rd in the league in field goal percentage and 8th in the league in free throw percentage. His efficiency would be considered great by today's standards, but by the standards of the 1960s, it was absolutely incredible. That kind of reliability will be something that benefits this squad whenever he comes in off the bench. The backup center is the Kings All-Star, Domantas Sabonis. In the cases where Boogie decides to get 2 quick technical fouls, Sabonis will make a great substitution. In the 2022-2023 season, he was averaging 19 points, a league-leading 12.3 rebounds, and 7 assists on a remarkably efficient 61.5% from the field. Once again, he's yet another Kings player who's an excellent passer and playmaker, so the ball movement certainly won't suffer when he's on the court. Now on to the 3 rotation players. The first is their reliable point guard, Mike Bibby. In this franchise's time in the city of Sacramento, they've never been closer to winning the championship than they were when this guy was the floor general. He didn't have many flashy highlights, but Bibby was a smart decision maker, a solid perimeter shooter, and a player with a tremendous clutch gene. He'll really have a hard time finding minutes behind Oscar, Archibald, and Fox. But assuming he is able to make it onto the court, the offense will be in good hands. The second rotation spot goes to the 6'6" small forward, Jack Twyman. He's an NBA Hall of Famer and a 6-time All-Star, who was one of the best scorers in the league throughout the 50s and 60s. At his best in 1960, he was averaging 31 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists on 42% shooting. The last rotation spot goes to Twyman's teammate and friend, Maurice Stokes. This 6'7" power forward was not playing in the NBA very long before his life-altering head injury. But with that being said, in those 3 seasons, he was a 3-time All-Star and made 3 All-NBA teams. In only his rookie season, he led the NBA in rebounding with 16.3 per game. Simply put, he was an athlete with strength and athleticism that was way ahead of his time. And if it wasn't for the injuries, many believe that he would have been a rival to Bill Russell. So here's a final look at the complete roster of this Ultimate Kings team. Honestly, this franchise surprised me quite a bit. They've been in existence since the early years of the NBA, which certainly helps when it comes to acquiring talent. It's a pretty well-balanced team, but the things that stand out to me the most is their plethora of elite scorers and their insane ball movement. With so many elite passers on the squad, it will be like the 2002 Kings on steroids, and would certainly be fun to watch. Do you think this team would have a chance at making the ultimate playoffs in the West? Let me know below. Also, here's my list of honorable mentions. Should any of these players have made the roster instead? I look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section below. Thanks for watching as always. Make sure to like and subscribe for more basketball content, and I'll see you guys in the next video.